So we have just seen one of the most intense games of rugby in recent history. Ireland versus New Zealand, a game that went down to the wire. As you can see, the All Blacks getting themselves the victory, 28 points to 24, but it wasn't without difficulty. We saw some massive individual performances from the Irish. Also 2 yellow cards for the All Blacks. Just added that intensity, 30 plus phases for Ireland at the end of the game. I look like I've just got a divorce, but that was the type of game it was. It was a love-hate relationship throughout the fixture, looking at the way that the momentum shifted. But throughout this review, we'll be looking at the stats. We'll be breaking down what happened in this game and what there is to look forward to in the near future. First of all, though, the try scorers in this game. For the Irish, we did see them score 3 tries, first of which being scored by Bundy Archie in the 37th minute of the contest. Jameson Gibson Park, he scored in the 39th. That was actually when Aaron Smith was off the field with the yellow card. And then there was the penalty try in the 64th, which led to the second yellow card for the All Blacks. And that was Cody Taylor, who got himself penalised for dragging down the maul. Then for the All Blacks, we saw 3 tries scored. Lester Fainanuku scoring the opening try of the contest out wide on their left-hand side with the assist going to Rieko Ioane. The second try of the match being scored by Ardie Savea, who definitely was a man of the match contender throughout this fixture. And then the third, Will Jordan. The man just knows how to score tries, and he scored one of the most important ones for the All Blacks throughout 2023. Getting just enough points to help the All Blacks towards the victory. But I have to say, no matter what was going to happen in that last 5 or so minutes, both of these sides deserve a huge amount of credit. They went out there, they poured their heart and soul into this fixture. It could have been a win for either of the teams. The All Blacks putting together 20 plus phases in that first half. The Irish upping them in that second half in the 80th minute when they're still charging forward with 30 or so phases put together. But it was the 151 capped Whitelock who got over the ball, won the turnover, and at that stage, the All Blacks had won the game. But the man who made the most tackles throughout this game, Sam Cane. What a performance he had. I mentioned before the game that he needed to try and step up, match what Josh Van den Fleur is able to do. I think he did more than that. 21 tackles, getting the turnovers, putting in some big hits. This, to be honest, was probably Sam Cane's best performance maybe we have ever seen him play. And it was the best time to do it in a game up against the number 1 side in the world. 89 running meters for Beauden Barrett, and Ardie Savea also having an impeccable game. 10 carries over the gain line, getting those turnovers for his side as well, and also scoring the try. So that might be what edges him towards man of the match, but I would definitely give it to Sam Cane with what he was able to do in this contest. Last 10 minutes, the Irish had 98% territory. They were just out from the AB's line, putting on a huge amount of pressure. The possession stat does actually go in favour of the All Blacks for this game, 53%. Possession for the whole game, 56% in favour of the Irish. We had over 1,000 running metres in this game. 536 for Ireland, 483 for the All Blacks, and also 29 defenders beaten for Ireland, 22 for the All Blacks. Penalty count relatively even, 10 against the New Zealanders, 2 yellow cards, 9 penalties against the Irish, and the tackle success. Both sides having to make a huge amount, over the 150 each. Ireland tackle percentage 84 compared to New Zealand's 80%. But there was so much to look at for this game in terms of certain players in certain moments getting it right. At other times, I thought that the scrum for Ireland, they seemed like they should have been able to go better than they did, because every time the All Blacks won a penalty, the Irish were actually pushing the ABs backwards, but it was in the way that they were doing it, the referee was saying, is why they weren't getting the penalties themselves. A huge amount of intensity throughout that full 80 minutes. Players will be very tired tomorrow. Ireland, unfortunately for them, even though they were undefeated going into this game, they will now be going home in this Rugby World Cup, whereas New Zealand, they will go on to their next game, and that will be up against Argentina next Saturday morning at 8 a.m, where they will try and get the win and then move their way on to the final. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in for this very short review of the game. I don't think I've got much vocal cord left after the way that match went. Chuck my tie way over the other side of the room. I'm not keen on going to get that. But yeah, best game of the Rugby World Cup so far. no matter who won it in those final moments, it was still going to be an absolutely awesome one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let me know what you thought of the match in the comments down below, and I will see you all for the next one.